What's up, guys? Infernity234 here, and today I'm going to be deck profiling for you guys my Skull Servant Chaos deck for the September 2013 TCG ban list. The deck, it functions basically the same way Chaos Dragons do. It just goes by the mill until you get what you need into the grave and then kind of explode from there. I'm running pretty much the same way Chaos Dragons run with it. It's got the Lightsworn mill engine, but it works surprisingly well now that this format has come to kind of slower a little bit, so it can kind of withstand against the meta. It's mostly a fun deck, but it can be competitive. But anyway, let's start off with the monsters. We have 3 King of the Skull Servant. What he does is, for every Skull Servant and King of the Skull Servant in the grave, he gains 1,000 attack. So he essentially becomes the boss monster of the deck as the more Skull Servants you have in the grave. And if he gets destroyed by battle, you can banish a Skull Servant from your grave and then special summon him. And next we have 3 Lady in White. When she's in the grave, her name becomes Skull Servant, which that's the way all of the Skull Servants work. And while she's on the field, face up level 3 or lower zombie monsters I control, except her, can't be destroyed by battle, and they're unaffected by spells and trap cards. So she's the way to protect King of the Skull Servant when he's out there. And then we have 3 White Mare, who is kind of next to this King of Skull Servant, the most important one in the deck, because when King of Skull Servant's banished, you can discard it to special summon it back from the grave. And so when you banish King of the Skull Servant for like Chaos Sorcerer or Blackluster Soldier, or if you banish it with Allure of Darkness, White Mare can get him back. So it's really important. And that's it for the Skull Servants. I'm not running the normal Skull Servant because it's not really needed and it's kind of too slow. And then next we have some zombie support for them. We have 2 Mizuki and 2 Goblin Zombie. The Mizuki are there just to special summon the Skull Servants, and the Goblin Zombies are just to search out the Skull Servants. Then we have the Lightsworn part of the deck with 3 Lilas and 2 Raikos. That's just for the milling part. And then 2 Card Troopers for more milling. And for hand traps, we have Double Veiler and Maxi. And we're also playing 2 Trag and Gores for stopping OTKs. Because this deck is kind of a little slower, so it needs a few turns to set up. So Gores and Trag are always good to have. Then we have the 2 Chaos monsters, Chaos Sorcerer and BLS. It works really well with Skull Servant because you can banish him and another Light Monster and use White Mare to bring King of Skull Servants back. Then we're playing 1 Charge and 3 Solar Recharge to kind of mill the same way Chaos Dragons do. Then we have Allure of Darkness, which is really good in this deck because you can play Allure and draw 2 and then banish the King of Skull Servants, and then you can use White Mare's effect to discard it to the grave and then special summon the King of Skull Servant back. So it's really good. Then 1 for 1 to special summon King of Skull Servant, and Foolish Burial, Dark Hole, and 2 Book of Life to special summon the zombie monsters. And then for traps, we're just running 2 Phoenix Wing Wind Blast to basically discard the dead Skull Servants from your hand. And that's it for the main deck. I don't have an extra deck built for the deck yet because I'm still testing it a little bit, so I'm not exactly sure what would go in there. I haven't got it situated out yet. But yeah, that's the deck profile, guys, and I hope you enjoy it.